Hello travelers, welcome back to another adventure from my trip on the lovely Norwegian dawn in the spring of 2023. This time, we'll be visiting the famous Mambo Beach on the island of Curaçao. The island has two terminals, the smaller Matthey Wharf and the mega pier port of Willemstad. Most cruise ships, including mine on this trip, will dock at the mega pier, which is located in the Santa Ana Bay. Disembarking from the ship at this port is very easy, and everything you need is just steps away from the gangway. Like the Norwegian tent they set up with beverages and towels for passengers coming and going. Now here is where I really appreciate the thought put into the comfort of the visitors. Seats! As soon as you step off the ship, there's seats. Unless you have a mobility issue, you cannot understand how important this is. Unfortunately for me, the weather was not cooperating, and in about a minute it started to rain. There's my lovely ship in the rain, and here's everyone running under the awning. The walk down the pier into the open air terminal is about 1 minute, and you're immediately offered a covered seating area with a place to purchase beverages and a wide variety of souvenirs. It's a great place to hang out and wait for the weather to clear up. Following the walkway will bring you to the taxi stand, where you can hire a private car or carpool with other passengers if you want a cheaper fare. Really, the ease of getting a taxi at this port is phenomenal. Traveling on a budget, I chose the cheaper route and I carpooled with a group of 6 other people. My cab fare each way was $6. I'm not sure how much the ride would be if you hired a private cab, but I expect maybe it should be about $35 each way. The ride from the port to Mambo Beach was a little long, about 25 minutes, which is definitely something to consider when planning out your excursion times. Although I will say that the ride to the beach was longer than the ride back, which was about 20 minutes. The driver will most likely offer to arrange a meetup time for a return trip. By all means do it, but take those plans with a grain of salt. I'll explain why later. Soon enough, you'll be dropped off at this roundabout, and you have arrived. You can see the construction of a new luxury apartment complex, which should be complete sometime in 2024. About a minute stroll down the path, you come to the entrance of Mambo Beach, which can be accessed via stairs or an elevator. Just steps away from the elevator section is the entrance to Mambo Beach and the Madero Ocean Club. The entrance fee to the beach is $3.50, and they accept US dollars. They have a selection of cabanas and lounge chairs for rent on a first-come, first-served basis. Just throw your towel down on a chair and it's yours. An employee of the club will come to collect the fees and offer you a menu to order food and drinks at an extra cost if you like. I chose a simple lounge chair, which was $9. This brought the total cost for this excursion, including round-trip transportation, to $24.50. The sand on this beach is firm and excellent for walking on. There's also an outdoor shower to rinse off sand and salt water. The incline into the water is perfect. You just walk right in. There's no waves knocking you around, and it remains shallow for a good distance past the shoreline. The water is absolutely crystal clear. On a sunny day, the water looks like the liquor named after this beautiful island. Mambo Beach is a man-made beach. That's also known as the Sea Aquarium. There's a man-made reef barrier which protects the shore from rough waves, leaving only gently lapping waters. When I think of paradise in my mind, this is it. It's as if this beach was pulled straight out of my imagination. As I floated in the water, years of stress and the pain in my back and legs completely melted away. I felt a level of peace that I've never felt in my entire life. I know this might sound a little ridiculous, but my soul felt recharged. I'm not saying the blue waters of Curaçao have magical powers, but I definitely felt something special. I spent over 2 hours floating in this splendid water, which I would advise to make sure you have plenty of sunscreen on to protect from those rays. I definitely got a little sunburned. I had to do the ouch dance in the shower later that day. Savor every moment you can while you're here. Make an entire day's excursion. You absolutely will not regret it. I spent about 2.5 hours here, but I easily could have enjoyed 4 or 5 hours. When the time comes that you're ready to head back to the ship, just make your way back to the elevator and down the path to the roundabout where your taxi driver dropped you off. Now back to the taxi situation. We made a return trip plan with our initial driver, however, they never showed up at the planned time. We waited an extra 15 minutes but decided to grab a different taxi on the way back. The fare was the same as their standardized pricing to prevent price gouging tourists. As I said earlier, the ride back seemed quicker. This driver definitely took a different route back to the pier. The ride is stunningly beautiful. The whole island is visible from the highest point on the bridge. Every twist and turn through the streets of Willemstad offered something for your eyes to feast on. It's a virtual kaleidoscope of color and it's so clean. I couldn't help but admire how adorable this island was. And suddenly, we rounded a turn, and in the distance, I could see my ship. The warm feeling of comfort hit me. Maybe it was the thought of my cozy stateroom, but the whole scene was one of the most beautiful sights I'd ever seen in my life. I might just be overly sentimental, though. I'm a huge dork. This taxi driver was so incredibly sweet. He saw me filming and was like, "Let me show you something cool to film," and he drove us past the famous floating bridge, which is its own little tourist destination. It was so nice of him. He really went out of his way to be fun. Your taxi driver will drop you off outside the port security gate, and once you're through, you're back at the pier.
Thank you.
Once back on the ship, I ordered a blue Hawaiian and I sipped on some Curaçao as I said goodbye to the island with the same name. I was at peace during this whole stay. My mobility was never an issue. My mind, my body, and soul were rejuvenated. I can say without a doubt that I left a part of my heart on this island, and one day I will return again. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment. Let me know if you've been to Curaçao or are planning to go. And please consider subscribing to my channel to help me grow and create more content. See you soon.